Alright, today's going to be a quick little video, and then in the next few days there will be another business update video. But today we'll talk about why you should start selling your bulk cards that you either have laying around or that you are buying from other people. So first off, you learn a lot about pricing. When you list your first cards, you learn a lot about how high your floor price should be. I started at 2 cents for regular bulk cards, and that was way too less. I'm right now at 5 cents, and I think it's still not enough. I think I will up it to 10 cents and maybe even 15 cents, but then I think the floor price for my reverse holos should also increase, which are now at 20 cents, and I think 20 cents is a good position to be in. But yeah, you learn a lot about how fast do you want your cards to sell, because if you list them at 2 cents compared to 10 cents, they're obviously going to sell a lot quicker, but it might be too much to keep up with. For example, you have 10,000 cards listed and there's a person buying 500 cards for you to pack up, and that might take a lot of time, and maybe you don't have the time to pack everything up. I personally have around 1 to 2 hours a day to pack everything up, to edit videos, to make content, all those kind of stuff. So everything I do for the business, but I don't have like 4 or 5 hours to pack 500 cards, pack 1,000 cards, or even more. So yeah, if you're selling too much cards to handle, you might want to consider increasing your floor price so that you get a little bit less sales but still the same amount of revenue. It also means that you can build your inventory more easily because you have the same amount of income without a lot of cards leaving your inventory. So yeah, you are able to pick up more cards, but less and less cards leave your inventory. And I do believe that having a bigger inventory also is a good reason to increase your floor price, because people are trying to find as many cards that they need with one person. So if you have a lot of cards they need, they only need to pay shipping once, they only need to track one order, and yeah, it's just a lot easier for them, potentially even cheaper even when you increase your price. So I highly suggest you have 10 to 20,000 cards, maybe not a lot more than that, because then it might get overwhelming to find them in your inventory. So 10 to 20,000 cards. Maybe I right now have 10,000 cards and I think everything is sorted on set. I find every card that I need fairly quickly. So yeah, but I can imagine if you have like 2 times the amount of cards that I have, then it might get a little bit overwhelming. So I think 10 to 20,000 cards is a sweet spot to be in for bulk. Obviously, the more you have, the more you can sell and the higher your floor price can be, because you are providing a service to the person who's buying from you that they don't have to look anywhere else but with you. So yeah, that's number one. Second reason is when you're new to selling Pokemon cards, you are able to get a lot of reviews and gain a lot of credibility from those reviews by selling bulk. So bulk sells a lot faster than, for example, your hits, your illustration rares, special illustration rares, depending on your pricing, obviously, of those cards. But I think if you want to gain credibility, you need a lot of reviews, and bulk is a very good way to do that. I right now have 72 orders, I think, on Card Market that I have completed in about 3 months, not even. So yeah, 70 reviews from people. And yeah, I think that really increases my credibility, that people are happy with me, that they would shop with me again, and that increases the probability that someone else is going to watch what you have in store and maybe pick up something that they need. So yeah, it's a great way to establish that first credibility, because I think if you have 0 sales, I personally wouldn't buy an SIR from, for example, the Mewtwo from Destined Rivals, from someone who has two sales. I don't even think I would buy a 500 euro card from someone who has like 70 reviews like I do. I would want to have the person to be established, maybe even a professional seller, so that I know that whatever goes wrong, I know that they can be trusted, and I know that there will be a solution for the purchase that I made. It's a great way to increase your credibility. And if it's not your ambition to sell bulk, but you want to sell hits and be a store that has more illustration rares, special illustration rares, more special cards, then I'd still think that bulk is a good way to start, because you are able to gain that credibility, and then those illustration rares and other special cards will sell quicker as well. So yeah, it's a win-win. Then my third point is for the TCG purpose. If you're a person who likes to play the TCG, it is quite interesting to have a large inventory of cards that might be playable. And if you buy a bulk lot from someone, you might find cards for yourself that you would otherwise have to pay €1, €2, €3 for, while now you might be able to pick them up at 2 cents a piece. Obviously, you will have to pay for all of the other cards that you don't need for your decks, but then you can resell those cards at a higher price than you initially bought the lot. So eventually you're gonna make a profit, and you will have the cards that you want to play with in your decks. So I think for the TCG players, it's also very interesting to have a large inventory of bulk, and then once cards go out of rotation, you can also again sell those cards, recoup the money that you invested, and put it to some cards that you might need for the next format. So yeah, that's point 3, the TCG purpose. And then let's move on to my last point. But keep in mind, this is not ideal. It can be used to grow capital, although I do think if that's your main goal, to grow capital so that you can later on afford to buy hits and more desired products, more special products, I don't think that growing capital this way through the bulk business is ideal, because it's a lot of work for a little amount of money. So yeah, when I pack an order, I don't nearly make as much money as I would do working my student job at just a grocery store. So you really need to be passionate about it. It kind of needs to feel like you're not working. For me, I just do it when I get home, and it's like, yeah, looking through my cards, having a bit of fun. I love to create some content as well. So yeah, you really need to like what you're doing in order to make this work. Otherwise, it will feel like it's not really worth it to you. But on the other hand, you are also gathering those reviews, so it can be useful for 2 things at once. But yeah, I don't think this should be your main way to grow capital if you want to get rich out of this, or if you want to really spice things up and get things going really fast. I think this is a slow process, and you should consider that it does take a lot of your time away if you do want to make a fair amount of money. I think for an order of €20, obviously depending on the cards, I would be working half an hour to 45 minutes just to pack everything up and send it away. So that's like, let's say it's half an hour, that's $40 an hour, but then you have to take in consideration that half of that is shipping costs. You also have to take into account that you had to work for half an hour. You had to buy that bulk from a person as well. So it's not that it's all profit. I probably profit like €5 an hour compared to €14 an hour when I would work at my local grocery shop. So this is not ideal to make money. It can help to grow some capital if you have a lot of time, but it's not ideal. So yeah, I hope you got something out of this video. It taught you a couple of things, and apologies for this setting. It might not be ideal. There might be some background noise, but I thought it was a beautiful day and I just wanted to enjoy the sun a little bit. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you when I upload the bulk business update. So see ya.